Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am DMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it poppin'.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the six-time World Heavyweight Champion, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the Boat, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, and we getting ready to do this thing coming to you live from ESPN 92.5. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, man, caviar dreams. Oh, yeah! I'm feeling good today, man. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Book, I'm doing sensational, and I'll tell you why, because I'm always looking forward to doing the Hall of Fame. But I'm actually looking forward to something that's happening after the show today. After the show, it's going to be a great night. You want to know what I'm doing after the show?
You going to K-Pot?
I'm going to K-Pot after the show. He already knew. Open invite, too, if you want to join me over there.
Man, don't get me started.
You know, man, I'm going to go down there right immediately after the show. I'm going to give a shout out to Matty Ice. Matty Ice is in town, and he wanted to hit up the K-Pot. You know what I mean? So we're going to hit up the K-Pot.
It's good, man. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a monster, dog. I might have to take you up on that. I'm serious. Charmel down there cooking some stuff, the Hello Fresh. I might have to let that.
You might have to say goodbye now.
Let that wait till tomorrow or something, man. Because that K-Pot, man, them crab legs, man, that steak. Oh, my goodness, man. You go. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to want to stop eating. I'll tell you that right now. You're not going to want to stop eating. You're going to love it.
I ate light all day, like in preparation. It's like whenever we would go in Vegas, we'd hit B1. If I knew it was going to be one night, there's no breakfast is needed. A little light lunch, maybe a little something for lunch, a little snack, because I'm saving room.
You don't want to drink nothing. You know what I mean?
No water, no bread, just meat. That's where it came from.
Oh, my God, man. So, yeah, I don't know how I do that, but it just seemed like it was, I could feel something in my bones that, man, he ready to go experience that pot, man, that pot, definitely. You definitely got to experience the pot. Yeah.
You know what? So I'm looking forward to that. And, I don't know if you got a chance to see everything that was going on social or all the reactions on social, but I feel like because he is a member of the Hall of Fame for us as well, and we got to step inside the Trill Burger establishment, and that was the first podcast that ever got to be in there and broadcast live from there. We got to give a big shout out to our guy Bun B, who rocked it at the rodeo last night. I think that I read the highest attended hip hop show ever for the rodeo and the second largest crowd of all time.
I think it was like 70,000 people. 75,000 people to check it out, man. So, yeah, man, Bun B did his thing. Big ups to my boy Bun, man. Keep representing the city.
And, you were a part of that first H-Town takeover, I believe. You had a little video at the rodeo. You were part of a montage of, like, H-Town All-Stars. And last night, he had himself, he had Eve, Nelly, E40, a DMC from Run DMC, and, of course, Drake came out. Somebody said Too Short, I think, was in there. I mean, he had a whole bunch of people coming out. Rick Ross, Rose was in the building. Man. Shut it down.
That's a moment, man. That's a moment at the rodeo to have the brothers, pretty much taking it to another level. So, yeah, I give those dudes big props, man. That's a history-making moment. It really is. It truly, really is.
And I think that people outside the city and definitely outside the state don't realize how big the rodeo is. Like, performing at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is a massive, massive deal. Massive.
It's a reason why my brother and I, we call ourselves Harlem Heat, because people thought we would have had to have cowboy hats on and cowboy boots and talking with an accent. You know what I mean? Talking about the rodeo. So no, man, it's that big. It's that big.
It's massive. But I will tell you this: one time, have you gone to the rodeo before?
Several times.
Several times. I'm assuming you had. But I remember one time I went to the rodeo. And, they have the the fair side of it, like with all the carnival games and all that.
My sister used to take me there every year, man, when I was a kid. One of my fondest memories, yeah.
So they have a little roller coaster, right? And I like roller coasters, okay, but normally like at a theme park where the roller coaster is always there, you know what I mean? Like it's set up and it stays there, This is one that came out of the back of a truck and they just kind of set it up. So, I'm like, okay, let's do the roller coaster. There's a guy who's working it, you know what I mean, who he had more fingers than he had teeth. Now, I'm not disrespecting him, but I'm just saying, like, it was a bit of a thing that had me
it's
like
a carnival, man. I mean,
I was looking at him like, okay, let's see how this is gonna go. We get on the roller coaster, and the little gimmick that's they push down to kind of keep you locked in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. It kept popping up when I sat in there. I said, "This isn't a good thing. This is not good." And I swear, we still go on the ride. And
you still went on it?
Hey, man, you know my people. You know what I mean? We're like, we'll risk it. And so we get on the ride, and I swear, when it takes the first turn, right? It takes the first turn. I felt that whole roller coaster shift. You know what I mean? Like about 2 inches. I said, please, God, please. That's why I started hoping. You know what I mean? I started hoping it was going to finish up and I'd be all right.
I mean, those machines got to go through all kind of tests. You can't imagine these guys are really actually, doing that stuff, right? I mean, come on, they're like, man, it's good. It's got a boat miss at all. Don't worry about that.
It's all right. It's not going to hurt nothing.
Small on it. It's good. The one memory I remember from the carnival more than anything, man, it's a memory that's stuck in my head. It was this ride. It was called I can't even remember the name of it, but it would flip you all over the place. Mm-hmm. And it was, looking at it, it didn't look that scary, but it was literally a ride from hell. And I remember this kid getting on that ride, and when he got off of it, the song was playing. We bumbo. You remember that song, right?
Yeah.
That song was playing as loud as it could possibly. It was just going on a loop. And this kid was throwing up so bad. I mean, it was a big pile. And I was like, man, I'm not getting on that, because I don't want none of that. But that's the memory that's stuck in my head from when I was a kid at that carnival, man. Like I said, my sister Billy, we talk about it all the time. She called me every Tuesday morning when I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to the airport, and we were just talking about the carnival because, like I say, she used to always, every year, take me to that carnival like clockwork, man. And I love her for that. Seriously, that's one of my fondest memories when I was a kid.
Yeah, man. So if you ever make it down to H-Town during carnival season or rodeo season, definitely. And then, man, I've watched some of the livestock shows and like the bull riding and all that stuff, and these guys, you know what? They really are athletes. I was looking at clips the other day. I mean, to be able to hold on to that bull when it's going all kinds of crazy, it takes a certain kind of individual. But
talking about riding that bull, I was at the school a few weeks ago, and we was talking about how you got to use your hands. You know what I mean? And we was talking about circling the ring and making sure you use your hands. And I was like, guys, you got to make sure you use the hands. I said, can you imagine a bull rider having that one hand locked in and not being able to use that right hand? I said, you got to use that right hand. You got to make sure you get some balance. So everybody's laughing like crazy that I'm using a bull riding analogy for professional wrestling. But whatever works, man. Whatever works.
But I mean, honestly, the thing that makes that example good is when you say like, give me a bull rider stance or a pose, everybody automatically knows, you do this, right?
Exactly.
And like if you're going to mimic it, that's what you do. So
Yeah.
it is a good, it's a good illustrative tool.
Pretty good analogy, man. Pretty good analogy.
What's the point of the rodeo clowns? Like, what are they supposed to do? Is it just like an act? Or do they have an actual like purpose? Do you know?
Well, I think the rodeo clowns actually are, the guys that distracted the bulls, right?
I guess, is that what they're supposed to do? Like get them out of the way?
They distract the bulls and whatnot, draw their attention. When the bull rider get thrown off and whatnot, so they won't get trampled. I think that's what it's for.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what they're for.
What would it take for you to be one of the rodeo clowns?
Bro, that's a tough job.
That's a tough job.
It would take at least 30 years off my old body right now to actually even think about doing something like that, because you got to be young to run and get away from the damn bull. You know what I mean? Put yourself in harm's way. Nah, man, I would not be the guy out there trying to protect anybody. You know what I mean? If I was one of those clowns, man, I'd be running my ass off trying to stay safe. I'm serious, man, because I've seen what those bulls could do, man. To the human being, it's not something anybody can just go out there and do. So now that's your people. You're not going to see too many brother clowns running around out there. Trust me. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. And it's Booker T, 6-time world champion, my man Brad Gilmore from Manscaped. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is here. And let me tell you, it's got futuristic tendencies included in this bundle, guys. Brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose and hair trimmer, and essentials aftercare products like the Crop Soother, the Ball Aftershave Lotion, and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, and 2 free gifts. Oh, yes.
That's right, Book. Their 5th generation lawnmower features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And did I mention? It's waterproof too. Manscaped, they did us a favor, Book. All the listeners of the Hall of Fame, and they threw in 2 free gifts. The Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Resolutions may come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay with Manscaped's latest and greatest.
Yeah, and start the new year off right, because when you look good, you feel good. Manscaped help you sculpt the best version of yourself for the year ahead. New year and new you, and definitely a new trimmer. Manscaped got your grooming resolutions covered. Guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Booker. Happy New Year to your balls. Sucker! And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. What's in the news out there, man? What's in the news out there in the world of professional wrestling and entertainment? What we got, man? I've been checking the internet, and I haven't seen a whole lot out there, man. But I know you've been searching. So what you come up with?
There are some things out there that we're definitely going to read. I also want to just clarify for people who wanted to know, the rodeo clown's job is to protect the riders. And it says protection of riders thrust from the bull, as well as being an individual who provides comic relief. I was curious, and you're right.
I got it right. Boom! One for the BT.
One for the BT. Again, I can't imagine doing this job because I was looking up some of the videos during the break, and these guys jump in barrels. You know what I mean? The bull hits the barrel and knocking the barrel all around. There's nothing that would get me to do that job. Shout out to the rodeo clown. Shout out to the rodeo clowns. There's just nothing.
No doubt.
What?
No doubt.
No doubt. I mean, look at this. Shout
out to the rodeo.
Real quick. Just look at this. I mean, this is insane. Look at this. So there's the bull. There's this guy right here in the Coors Light bucket. Look at this. Bam. Bump. Taking a bump. Boom. Taking another one. Like, there's nothing. And this guy's got to distract him. I mean, what in the world are these guys thinking?
Like I said, you got to be quick, man. You got to be quick on your feet. Caucasian.
Well, normally those two don't go hand in hand.
But I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no brothers out there. Ain't no brothers out there, man. None of that. We ain't doing it. We ain't going, and we ain't doing that. Okay? You can forget about it.
Oh, man. There are some things in the news. Again, shout out to Bun B and the rodeo, Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They do a great job every year. 75,000 strong. But
1,000 people.
There was a announcement again, though. We've been talking about the Hall of Fame class, which this one's shaping up to be really good. And they announced another name for the Hall of Fame class this year, and that is Thuderbolt Patterson. He's going to be going in to the Hall of Fame. I mean, this is a guy who started in the 60s in pro wrestling and going into the Hall here this year. What do you think about Thuderbolt Patterson going into going in?
It's pretty awesome. I actually said a few words about Thunderbolt Patterson going into the Hall of Fame. He's going to actually be there live and in person. Mm-hmm. A guy that's paved the way for me. Thunderbolt Patterson was a guy who perhaps was in the main event of that show, and he couldn't even sleep in a hotel in that city that night just because he was a black man. I'm sure those trips up and down that highway back then was definitely a sight to see for, someone like Thunderbolt Patterson trying to make his way in this business. I'm sure he had to go in the back door more times than he had to go in the front door, but he endured that for someone like myself. So I give Thunderbolt Patterson all the praise in the world for going out there and paving the way for someone like myself. I really do. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Thunderbolt is a guy who, he retired in the mid-'80s. I was reading about him today, just trying to familiarize myself with all of his career. And, worked a lot here in Texas, in Dallas, with Boris Malenko and Fritz von Erich. And went into the Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame a few years ago, but only right that he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, a trailblazer. and a big guy from what I can tell. I mean, he looked like it. I was watching some of his matches. I don't know how tall he was, but he was a big dude. I wouldn't want to cross him, man. He seemed like a bad ass wrestler. And
man. Main evented a lot of those times, man. A lot of people came, to see Thunderbolt Patterson back then. A black man on top of this business was a rare thing. And Thunderbolt Patterson, he went through everything and was able to, find his way to that spot to where he was, a mainstream player, So I tell you, man, I can only imagine, what he had to go through. But like I said, I can only say I thank him 100 times over. Seriously.
What like when you were coming up, I mean, like you said, you're thanking him. Was he somebody who, because back then, I guess, let me ask you this actually. How would y'all, like, back when you and your brother were coming up, like, how would you watch tape on the other guys? I guess there wasn't really, like, it's not like the internet now where I could go pull up a Thunderbolt Patterson match and go, ooh, we could take this, this, and this, or pull up a whomever, Gino Hernandez match and be like, oh, we could take that from Gino. How would y'all, like, find tape to watch of these guys? Like, was there a large access to that back then?
Bro, we had VHS.
I know you had VHS, but I'm
like
saying
in the Stone Age where we had to put two sticks together and make a fire or anything like that.
Look, no, y'all would go to the library to for a quarter, and you could read the newspaper on those big sticks and stuff back then. Don't give me that.
I didn't go to the library. Okay, that's the last place I was going.
But like I'm saying, it's not as like today. Like when you do a film study, you're like, hey, pull this match up.
I don't think that's the way we did our film study back then. I think we did our film study watching shows. We watched the shows. We knew the guys that we liked. I knew Jake the Snake was one of the best workers in the world. First time I saw it, I was like, man, that's I want to be like that. Yeah. So I made sure every week when I watched the show, I made sure I watched what Jake went out there and did from an in-ring perspective, from a promo perspective. I said, man, this is a guy that you want to learn from. So I think that's the way we learned back then, opposed to going and just trying to find tape and pulling it up and, looking at it from that perspective. I think almost like in real time.
Okay. And was Thunderbolt a guy that, because again, he was retired before y'all broke in. Were you ever able to, did you rub shoulders with him ever, or did you ever see him in any spots?
No, he was, God rest his soul, Ice Train. Ice Train just passed away a few weeks back. Thunderbolt Patterson was Ice Train's manager in WCW. So I got a chance to hang around Thunderbolt for a minute. I never really chopped it up with Thunderbolt or anything like that. And the thing is, the times had changed from when Thunderbolt was working when I came in. It had changed a whole lot, even though working in WCW, that good old boy clique, that good old boy system was still around. There was remnants of it, still around, but it had changed a whole lot. But I did get a chance to, sit in the locker room with Thunderbolt Patterson a few times.
Well, so many of the legends who have gone into the Hall of Fame or been inducted, unfortunately, haven't been able to take that stage themselves, due to passing before the honor was bestowed upon them. And it's great to have Thunderbolt able to actually go and be inducted and have his moment. And I really like this Hall of Fame class. It's really paying homage to the people who, laid the groundwork. When you look at like a Bull Nakano or Muhammad Ali or the U.S. Express, Paul Heyman, now Thunderbolt Patterson, this is a great class. This is one of a really, really solid class.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there. It's going to be a long night. I got to get up early because NXT, of course, is going to be early that Saturday, and I got to make my way to the table. But I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be a hell of a Mania week.
Hell of a Mania week, and I don't know if there's any other names for the Hall of Fame going in. Normally they do like six, like a tag team, main eventer. Normally a lady goes in every year and a couple others. Yeah. So it looks like this might be the full class. And if so, that's great. I wonder who's going to induct Ali and who is going to accept. I guess maybe his daughter will accept or somebody from the family.
I can see Layla Ali doing that. She would be perfect for it. You know, I don't think anybody else could do it other than Layla Ali. I mean, I could be wrong, but I
Like
think she
accept it or do the induction? Because
would do the
normally they have
induction.
someone speak before and then
I
somebody
think
says
maybe both. She may
both.
be fitting for both. Be honest.
She could. I don't know if any like because what wrestlers who are rub shoulders with him are around to do the like. I'm trying to think of like who they would get to even do that. Like when
Well, I was finna say, well, Mr. T. Then I say, no, they're not gonna do this.
no, shout out to Mr. T, but they're
We
not doing
did that once.
We made that mistake before. Not inducting him, but the length of his speech was known.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the champ, Muhammad Ali, right there up top, right behind me, right there, as well as right immediately to my right here, where I'm throwing that jab, right on his chin, and in the hotel of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. But we got to take a quick break, guys. Stick around. You are inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We are just chopping it up, talking a little some sports and entertainment. All you super chatters out there, guys, make sure you get your chat in. We'll get to you as soon as we possibly can. But we got a long show for you today. We ain't gonna be skipping out early or any of that. So stick around. Where we going, man? Where we going?
Well, at the time, here on Wednesday, AEW Big Business is going down in Boston, Massachusetts, and
Austin.
It's all but confirmed that Mercedes Mone, the former Sasha Banks, will be making her AEW debut. Now, this is fresh off the debuts of Will Ospreay and Okada, who came in, and the AEW continues to add new stars to the roster. And man, you know what? Like Sasha Banks, man, Mercedes Mone, excuse me. That is big business. That's box office. I think you said a couple years back when Sasha and Naomi walked out that day they left, and now Naomi's back in WWE, that you thought that Sasha Banks being in AEW would be good for their women's division. I might have that wrong, but I believe that's what you said. Do you stand behind that sentiment, and are you excited to see what's going to happen, with Mercedes Mone in big business?
Well, I can tell you this. I honestly felt like Mercedes Mone would, when she first left the company. I thought she was too. I thought she would overshadow anything. That's what I said. I thought
That's
she
what
would
it was.
overshadow anything in AEW when she first left. Of course, since she's left for WWE, she's kind of cooled a lot, and then going on to New Japan and then getting injured.
Right.
That was kind of like a setback as well. So now this is almost kind of, I don't know if it feels like a restart to me. This seems like a restart for Monet, and going to AEW. I can't see it being a bad thing because I was reading a thing where Will Ospreay said that the offer from AEW was way better than the offer that he got from WWE. So my thing is, she's going to be able to go over there and make some money. She's going to be able to, get a check. But I think, is it a good thing for her? Is it a good thing for AEW? Yes, I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I don't even want to take it any further because people are taking it and try to run with it and turn it into something else. So, but I do think it's going to be a good thing for Monet to get back in the action, because one thing about this business, out of sight, out of mind. That's just the way it is. Time off is your worst enemy. That's just my opinion on that. So yeah, it's going to be a good thing for her.
Yeah, it's going to be great for her. And I understand what you're saying by a reset, because you are right. The New Japan run that she had was plagued by an injury, and it kind of stopped a lot of the momentum there. And I was almost certain she was coming back to WWE. That didn't pan out for whatever reason. And being there in AEW, she's going to be, and this is no disrespect to any woman on the AEW roster, but she's going to be the biggest star on that roster now. As far as, brand and name identity, I think that that's a safe thing to say. So it's only going to help. I wonder, like, because AEW, couple weeks ago kind of did a soft relaunch of Dynamite anyway, where they had kind of new sets, new logo, new feels. Obviously, the announced teams in AEW have shifted lately. You kind of have some people stepping away. Sting has retired. They're bringing in this new crop of people who, say what you want about Ospreay and Okada, but they are names, especially huge names for the AEW roster. It doesn't surprise me that the AEW offer was better for Ospreay than the WWE offer because, well, why would that be? I mean, WWE is going to be, they would be great with him, but they're going to be great without him, and that's no disrespect, but they have such a talent roster right now, and to me, it's the same thing with Bellator. If you hear Bellator guys always say, oh, yeah, I got paid more for my fights in Bellator. Well, it's because they have to pay more to attract the people over there, right? I mean, you got to. That just makes more sense. You have to give them a more appealing deal because why would you want to go, and this, again, not disrespect, but why would you want to go to the number 2 if the number 1 wants you? Oh, because the number 2's paying me more money. And I'm sure they're paying big business is the name of the show, and I'm sure it's an accurate description of the check Mercedes Mone is going to get because they're definitely paying a lot. Do you see all this stuff going on with Okada and how much they were paying him?
No.
Oh, now there's rumors on the internet, but it's stupid money, like stupid money for Okada to come in.
Let me see if I can find the number. It's definitely a gamble. With Tony Khan, he's spending a lot of money and he's really trying to make that thing work. And it is a gamble, whether it's going to pay off or not. But the thing is, I think Tony Khan has enough money in his treasure chest to actually, play this thing out as long as he want to play it out. But guys are getting paid a whole lot of money to go over there and for the business, for the guys. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. The report from Tokyo Sports, and this is on Forbes.com, says Okada inked a 3-year deal with AEW that will earn him more than $4 million annually. So a year is from what I'm reading here.
I don't know what Tony Khan, if that's true, Tony Khan is really putting all his eggs in this thing and saying, man, we're gonna do it. But the way I see it though is he's catering to an AEW audience. He's not catering, he's catering to that 700 to 1 million fans that they have right now. He's not catering to anything outside of that box. Bringing Will Ospreay in, bringing Okada in to wrestle, when you can bring anybody in to wrestle, it's not going to move the needle as far as fans go. I look at WWE right now, and this is an amazing time for the WWE. And I'm not trying to blow any smoke or anything like that, other than it is hot right now. I tried to get tickets for my sister in Dallas. I always have a youth group to go to the show, and I tried to get her 10 tickets. The show was sold out. Tickets here in Houston, 13,900, sold out to the rafters.
Yeah.
Austin, sold out. So that's what I'm thinking about more than anything. I'm thinking about trying to bring in more viewers. Right now with WWE going overseas, doing all these big shows, it's amazing the buzz that WWE has right now. And the thing is, I go do NXT on Tuesdays, and now it's people in the airport waiting to get my autograph when I get off the plane. Going through it's crazy. That's how big it feels like it like in the 2000s, early 2000s, when I was with WWE. Everywhere we go, people follow, and that's the way it feels right now with WWE. And I think that's the problem. I wouldn't say the problem. I think that's what AEW needs to try to think about and try to find that space to where we're getting as many fans as we possibly can to these arenas, getting as many fans to watch this product, And I really think WWE's product is all based around storyline and trying to get people to feel, the story and go along with the story. I think that's what wrestling is. It's always been those moments. It's never been the wrestling. Even though we've had a lot of great wrestling matches in this business, it's always been about the moments and the characters, which made this thing work. And in AEW, I honestly don't see a whole lot of that. I mean, I don't watch the show regularly or nothing like that. But when I do watch it, what I see is a bunch of matches. What I see is a bunch of moves. What I see is a bunch of kickouts. What I see is a bunch of, guys going out and, living their wrestling dream, having their WrestleMania moment every night, in AEW. But,
Well,
hopefully they'll stick around.
Well, no, I hope they're sticking around for the long term. Obviously, we want more wrestling companies. I agree, man. Like right now, WWE is just so killing it. Like it's hard to compete. But that's why, as much as I agree that Ospreay and Okada, that is catering to an AEW audience. Signing people like Edge and Mercedes Moné or Adam Copeland, excuse me, that is trying to appeal to a wider net and trying to bring in some of those WWE viewers. And we'll see if it works. There was a little bump when Adam first came in. I expect to see a bump with Mercedes as well.
Was it a bump? Was it a bump?
Yeah, there was a bit of a bump.
Did they sustain that bump? Because
the bump was sustainable.
Their last rating, I think, was 775,000 viewers watched the show. You know what I mean? So that right there let me know that they're in between that 700 and a million. Some could drop off, or some may watch. They may drop off, some may watch. And that right there for me, it's just letting me know that we're not catering to everyone. We got our little niche. We got our little box that we're playing in, and that's it. And we're paying a whole lot of money for guys to play in this little box. We need to expand. We talked about the pay-per-views, more money coming in. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Talking a little sports and entertainment. I don't know if you saw Dark Side of the Ring episode with Buff Bagwell. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring is back. They did Earthquake, and they did Marcus Buff Bagwell just last week, and I got a chance to see it. I tell you, man, brother had a very, very interesting life. His dad was a race car driver, drag racing. He was a self-made millionaire, lost all of their money, and then Buff pretty much took the reins from that point. At one point, Buff tried to kill his dad. Shot at him with a 45 and, took a piece out of his arm, whatnot. But it's just a very, very interesting story, stuff that I never knew about as far as Buff Bagwell. So his dad used to hand him and his boys bags of cocaine before they went out and say, guys, y'all have a good time. You know what I mean? Don't get in no trouble. Okay. But no, man, very, very interesting. If you get a chance, check it out. Me and Buff Bagwell, we go back a long, long way. We had some of the greatest times in the rings in WCW. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't enjoy working with too many people. Like I love working with Marcus Bagwell. We used to have so much fun pulling off this one spot, tackle, drop down, leapfrog, stop, tackle, drop down, leapfrog, hip toss, drop kick. Man, it was just a beautiful, beautiful scenario. And we did it maybe 1,000 times in our careers, you know what I mean? So I'm just happy to see Buff Bagwell still here and see him doing well now. Give Dallas Page big ups, man. Dallas Page big ups for helping so many guys. Buff Bagwell just happened to be one of them.
DDP's the best, right? I mean, he's just such a positive guy. And I know he's got his, it was either this weekend or it's coming up this upcoming weekend, his A&E special, DDP's A&E special is coming up. You know what's crazy is, and I want to ask you something about Buff, but Dallas Page, tell me if you agree with this. Dallas Page's post-wrestling career almost is more Hall of Fame worthy than his wrestling career, in the sense of all the good stuff that he's given back to the business by helping guys out. extending guys' careers. Because you talk to people like Jericho or Goldust, they say they'll still be able to wrestle because of Dallas. And then you look at guys that Jake the Snake still around because of Dallas Page. I mean, we saw the resurrection of Jake the Snake live and in person at the old arena. Dallas has done so much good work after his wrestling career stopped. You know, you could make a case that just part of that is Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. But a lot of people don't understand as hard as Dallas worked when he was trying to come up in the business, you know, not being a young guy, even though Dallas was, you know, not the greatest worker in the world. He still wasn't thinking about his spot. Even back then, Dallas would still help the guy next to him. He still would go out of his way to help the guy, even, you know, back then, you know. So I'm not surprised that Dallas turned out to be the guy that he is today, and, you know, trying to help. I mean, I saw Scotty Riggs came in, and man, he did such a transformation with Scotty Riggs. Butterbean,
yeah.
Butterbean couldn't even stand up straight, and he was so big and overweight when he came into that house. And within a year or so, Dallas had turned him all the way around, the way he was standing straight up, throwing punches and everything, looking to get into a fight again. You know, so I give Dallas Page so much credit, but I give those guys a lot of credit too, because that program is not easy. It's not an easy program.
No.
Doing that DDP yoga, Dallas gave me the set, the DVD set, and I did it one time. I'm like, man, I can't do this. But
it's a workout, man.
You got to be 100% dedicated to doing that. So I give Dallas a lot of credit. I give all those guys that, you know, stepped up and was willing to put themselves through that a whole lot of credit, man. So big ups to all those guys.
You know, with Buff Bagwell, did they in the Dark Side of the Ring, did they talk about his WWE run? Was that covered at all, or was it more so?
He had no WWE run.
Well, he had a cup of coffee.
A couple. They talked about it, yeah. And we've heard about the WWE run as far as from Buff Bagwell's standpoint. Just didn't work out. The match that him and I had in Tacoma, Washington, that has come up a lot of times. Dark Side of the Ring, they reached out to me to be a part of, you know, some of these series and episodes, but I turned it down just because, me personally, anything that happened, you know, with Buff Bagwell and anything that I got to say about Buff Bagwell, it's private. It's something that's internal. It's something that him and I know, and I'm not going to, you know, expose it or put it out there or anything like that, just because I don't think the world really needs to know what happened with, you know, Bagwell and I that night or anything like that. So the way it's written is the way it's going to be told from here on out. I won't have anything to say about it.
Can I ask you the one thing about it? I'm not hitting Backstage, but I'm just really curious because you've had so many great matches, you know, in your career. You know, 90% of them are great, I'm sure. And I'm just throwing a number out there. But when you have something that isn't going to you know, the way you want it to plan, do you know it while it's happening? Or is it something to, like, once you finish, you're like, we missed the mark on that? Not that match specifically, just any match.
You know what? Let me speak on one thing, just to clarify, just to back up Bagwell on a couple of things. That night, Bagwell and I, we had to go out and work. It was literally, you know, the first time, you know, two WCW guys are in the main event, of course. Mm-hmm. And I do remember agents talking to me and telling me exactly what they didn't want me to do. Okay. They told me to look straight at the camera, go out and work. Don't shake nobody's hands. And that was my thing, going out happy, shaking hands, high fiving. And they told Bagwell the exact same thing. Go straight out, just go to work, and you know, don't even think about the fans. And that was something, you know, that I found very, very odd, kind of suspicious. we wasn't put in a position to succeed back then in WCW. WWE. None of the WCW guys
Right.
were. We were put out there to fail. We was put out there to get our asses beat, and for WWE to plant that flag and say, "Man, we won this war. We got the best wrestlers in the world," and we just proved it with these two guys in the ring right here. So that part of Marcus Bagwell's story is 100% true. Was it the greatest match that I ever had? No. Was it the worst match I ever had? I don't even think it was the worst match I ever had.
Right.
But I do know no matter what we did that night, those fans in Tacoma, Washington didn't give a damn about Booker T or Marcus Buff Bagwell. It was a rough night.
Yeah. It seemed a little bit like, after hearing that, don't interact with the crowd. Seems like cutting your wings off a little bit there, and then pushing out a window.
Big time.
Seems like.
You remember you heard me tell the story about me going and said, "Hey man, if I got this agent telling me this, this one telling me that," I say, "Look, if I'm going to get fired that way. I'd rather go out and do it myself. And if I don't put behinds and seats, get rid of me." That was after the match with Buff Bagwell.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. But you know what else is crazy? Like thinking about after WCW closed and, all the guys came over, including yourself and Dallas and Buff and, later on Goldberg and Kevin Nash and Scott would come back in. Everyone. Hogan came back. You were the only one that made it. I mean, honestly, for a sustained run, you're still there. You're the only one. The only one from WCW. The last one standing.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why was it? Why were you able to succeed for a long period of time in the company when, as you said, it seemed as though they didn't want WCW guys hanging around?
That's why I think that may be why I knew they didn't want WCW guys there, but I was a little bit different. I knew exactly what I need to do to actually make it in the WWE. And one thing was I had to leave all my accolades in WCW and prove to these guys how good I really was. And I was willing to do that. And I was willing to go through whatever they was willing to, was going to put me through to prove how good I really was and I could compete with anybody in the world. I was waiting for that moment. I was ready for that moment when WCW closed. People will say, "Man, what are you going to do?" I say, "I'm going to WWE and I'm going to I'm going to do my thing there." When the doors closed at WCW and I left the world heavyweight champion and the United States champion, I knew I had a chip in the game. I knew that these guys perhaps had something planned for me, but I had to go out there and do my part. And what I tell guys always in this business, tell my young guys, and I stress it to them, if you do not know how to make it in the locker room, you have no chance at making it in the ring. So that was my main objective. Make it in the locker room first, and the rest of it will work itself out. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Where we going, dog? Where we going? We just finished up with Mark Bagwell and his story. Like I say, guys, if you get a chance, check it out. They do show some clips of Harlem Heat on there, so I did make the cut.
You made the cut anyway. They're like, we're going to get him in here somehow. We've been talking about some of the stories that are going on in the wrestling world. Again, AEW big business is going on. NXT was last night, Monday Night Raw. You know what? I want to talk to you a little bit about Monday Night Raw. I know you don't like booking the show. I'm not going to ask you to book the show. But the main event was a gauntlet match to figure out who was going to face Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn ended up winning that match. So it's going to be...
Question. You watched it, right?
I did.
Let me get your opinion on it. How'd you like the gauntlet? How'd you like it?
Gauntlet was cool. I mean, are you asking me like the finish or just the match in general?
Everything.
I liked it. I liked it, especially when it was Gable and Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Gable, bro. I'll tell you this about Chad Gable at the end of that match. I mean, having flashes. Literally, you could have put 2001 like Kurt Angle on one side of the screen and Chad on the other, going into that finish. When he did the straps down and went into the ankle lock, I mean, it was frame for frame, like Kurt Angle from back in the day. What did you think of it?
No, I thought it was a really, really good match. I thought the whole thing was good. The gauntlet from the beginning to the end. I thought the right person won.
A lot of people were pulling for Chad.
A lot of people were pulling for Chad, and I get it. I get it because of Chad had the awesome match with Gunther. But I think Sami Zayn's moment has been lingering. We've been wondering what was going to finally put him over that top. And I thought it was this match. So for me, I thought the right person won. Of course, Chad could have won. They could have did the thing all over again, but nobody really is going to give Sami Zayn, the edge over Gunther, no matter what.
Yeah.
So that match right there is going to have so much more, of a compelling story. Of course, Chad Gable took him to the limit once. We know he's capable of going out there and beating Gunther, but we did not think, Sami Zayn was going to perhaps, beat Chad like that. Me personally, I had a feeling, that it was going to go that route, just because it's just a much more compelling story with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has come so far in this company. I remember watching Sami Zayn overseas. It was the first time I watched him work, and he had that baby face fire. I was like, man, this guy, he's got something, but I don't know how long he's going to stick around here. That's just the way I felt about Sami Zayn. And then I watched this guy grow. I saw him literally grow right before my very eyes. And then when he did the bloodline thing, you might say Sami Zayn was the MVP of that thing, when it was, in his stride. I mean, he really had a whole lot to do with that thing. It seemed like a joke at first, but it literally put the rocket on Sami Zayn. So for me, I'm going to be looking forward to that match now more so than any. I talked to Sami Zayn actually on Tuesday morning. We were flying to Orlando, and we were sitting next to each other on the plane. And I swear, same thing like you just said, so many people was pulling for Chad Gable in that match. And Sami, I said, man, what a match, man. I said, what a match. You're going to look back on this one day and say, man, that was the one. That was the one that catapulted me to the next level. That was the one that, put me in the light and let people see exactly, what I can do. And he was so literally upset about the online, heat that he got from the fans. He's like, man, I thought the fans loved me. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, I see all of this stuff and I say, man, you can't listen to that white noise. Yeah. So you got to think about how great that match was. And you're going to look back on it one day and say, man, that was some really, really good work that I did. But he still, like I say, was feeling that he let someone down just because the fans didn't think the match was as good as, I thought it was.
Oh,
and
yeah, the match was excellent.
I thought it was excellent.
The match was excellent. And you know what? I don't want to give too much away, but like the finish was very smart. I'll just say that. Like the finish was smart, the way that it was laid out. You know what I mean? And Sami, look at Sami's let's just talk about his last two WrestleManias. Okay, going into this one. WrestleMania 38, he had to go out there and work with Johnny Knoxville. Okay, who's not a wrestler, who's not an older cat, you know what I mean, not an athlete. And he pulled off an insanely entertaining match at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. Like, wildly entertaining. The feud that he had, because this is why Sami's so great. He throws himself all the way into it. I mean, he's showing up at the Jackass Forever premiere. He's getting shocked with whatever those cattle prods, by Johnny Knoxville. Johnny's going on Howard Stern and promoting the match. I mean, he threw himself into it. They had a fun match. And then you fast forward a year after that, main event night 1 with the Usos and Kevin Owens for the titles. Goes over there. An incredible match. Such a great main event. I was 5 rows back for that and got to see it live in living color. And they were so great in that match. And now, what do you think is going to happen with Gunther? You think they're going to go out there and stink the joint out? No. Him and Sami match up so well on paper, especially dominant heel and come from behind babyface. I mean, Look, the match is going to be excellent. So anybody who's, crapping on the guy not on Chad not winning, Chad's going to have his moment, man. But Sami's been. You've said this on the show before, and I agree with you. If you give me 10 Sami Zayns, I'm in great shape, right?
Yeah.
And Sami, to me, needs something important at WrestleMania, and Gunther and the powers that be have made that Intercontinental Championship back to its prominence. That is an important title in WWE now, and that's going to be a marquee match. Whether it's going to be on night 1 or night 2, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a must-see one. You ain't getting up to go to the bathroom during Gunther and Sami Zayn.
Like I said, I think the right guy won that match. Nothing against Chad. I love Chad Gable. I just think for the storyline going into Mania, the right guy won that match.
The right guy won the match. That's all there is to it. But I did want to highlight it because I thought that main event was something special. I really did. And I like when WWE does stuff like that. Sometimes you set up a match through a story or an angle. Sometimes you set it up by an actual match. And to me, doing those gauntlet style things, and Gunther's been so dominant. You could have gone either way, but I like Sami as the choice. Let me ask you this though. I got to ask you about your man Trick Williams. Trick Willie's back, NXT, and he was putting the moves on old Lash Legend on NXT. Give me your breakdown. Did he come to you? Because he comes to you for everything. You know what I mean? Did he come and ask for no game? He didn't ask for no game.
He just pulled that one out of his hat.
Yeah.
But no, man, great show last night, man. Great show, NXT. I love being in that building, watching the young guys come out there and do their thing. Just the way Sean put that show together is really, really awesome. To go off the air the way we did last night, of course, with me. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's always cool to finish the show off, So man, Trick Williams back, and he's back for vengeance, man. I cannot wait to see him and Carmelo one-on-one.
Him and Melo stand and deliver is what it's looking like it's going to be. I can't think of a better match. Can you imagine the energy in that building in Philadelphia for Trick Melo the first time?
It's going to be crazy, man.
Oh, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be
crazy.
Nuts.
I'm looking forward to it.
Now, careful observers might have spotted somebody there in the crowd last night at the NXT tapings. CM Punk was seen taking in the scenes. Did you see Punk last night at the NXT tapings?
I did.
Yeah?
I saw Punk.
What's funny?
Yeah. No, we'll talk about that out there.
Okay.
But, but I almost had like a little run-in with CM Punk.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? The internet might want to pick that up. Me and CM Punk almost got into it at NXT this week. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, you'll tell me more later.
We'll talk about it later. I don't want to put it out there because they're gonna pick it up and run with it. But I'll talk to you about that off there.
Okay. We'll talk later. Also, want to give a shout out to Ariana Grace, who I'm not sure what the charity was for, but I think before her match on NXT tapings had a charity car wash and raised $5,000. Did you see this online?
I did not.
So she had a charity car wash and she raised $5,000. Out there.
Really awesome.
Let's see if it says. I don't know if it says what it was for, but you know what? She living the gimmick, right? Beauty queens do things. What does it say? Yesterday afternoon went well. Raised $5,000 washing cars for charity.
Well, I tell you right now with that damn bikini on, I'm sure she could have raised a little bit more if the sun would have been out in the city. It was about to rain in Florida, and she made that much money.
I feel you. I feel what you're saying.
We got to take a break. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We got the super chatters. Should we get to the super chatters, man? We don't want to run out of time and not have gotten to everybody today. So let's get it started.
Let's go to the chatters. Let me pull up my little gimmick. I should have this like on the ready quickly. But here we go. Our first super chat of the day.
Give us some Roni, brother. Oh, yeah.
Is from the one and only Cali Toenail. I just knew Gable had the gauntlet won, but Sami got it. I still don't see anyone beating Gunther. I think he should keep it till he say, I'm done with it.
I don't know. I see Gunther have he's done his job, I think, by making that title, a title that, could pretty much catapult you to the next level, is giving it relevance again, I think. I think the ultimate underdog going into this match is Sami Zayn. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Sami Zayn win that match, the crowd is going to go nuts. So I'm thinking, from that perspective, Gunther's a guy that can lose it and get it back and go on another run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that babyface chasing that heel is something that has always been a tool that we have used in this business. But the rabbit can only chase for so long. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, and I think that for Gunther, he's done what he needs to do with the Intercontinental Championship. He's now got the longest reign in history. No one's ever probably going to come close to it, at least in a very long time, because Honky Tonk Man had it before that. And I think it's time really for Gunther after WrestleMania to start looking at that world title.
That's what I think too, but I'm not going to say it.
Well, I'm saying it. Damn it. I think it's time for him to look at that world title, especially on Raw with Seth. Seth and Drew got a good program going, and I really think Drew should have his moment in the sun as well. But that's what's great about the WWE roster right now. It's just so stacked with talent, and some guys might have to just wait on the side until it's their turn, and because there's so many guys on top. And I was thinking about this too with Seth and for Cody and Roman. They're all going to be working twice at WrestleMania, right? On night 1 and night 2. Does that come with 2 checks? Or do you just get one WrestleMania paycheck? I'm trying to figure this out. It's got to be 2, right?
It's got to be 2 checks.
I bet you when they called me like, hey, can we get you to work in a tag on night 1? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Sounds like a great idea. You want me to do the NXT as well?
It's going to be a hell of a night for those guys because I'm going to tell you right now, just even being in a tag, they're going to have to go out there and let it all hang out. They're going to have to leave everything. It's WrestleMania, so I can see that tag match being grueling, man. Setting up Cody for night 2, coming into that bruised, battered, and torn. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I know you don't like booking the show, but I do think how do Rock and Roman not go over on night 1? Because if there's a bloodline rules stipulation, like if they lose, if you tease it, you got to give it to them. But anyway, that's just what I think.
I'm not booking it.
I know. Cali Toenail, we need a petition going for the Nasties and Demolition to go into the Hall of Fame. I know. I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I've been lobbying for Nasty Boys for quite some time. I don't know. I think they may have one more name that they may pull out for the Hall of Fame. So hopefully that name will be Nasty Boys or Demolition. I don't know. Like I say, I've been pulling for the Nasty Boys just because I think they deserve to be in all the matches that we had with the Nasties and what I got a chance to see the Nasties do before I ever got a chance to see them in the ring was, quite a lot, so I just feel like those guys have busted their ass enough to get inside the Hall of Fame. It may be Knobs. They may not want Knobs to get up there and get that damn microphone. That might be it.
That might be the first and only Hall of Fame promo pre-taped.
Well, Knobs is the reason why we don't have a limo contract anymore.
So, yeah. But there's so many people out there.
He might be the reason why, but I'm still pulling for him.
There's so many people out there. I mean, we've talked about before, like Lex Luger, Ken Shamrock. I think Sable should go in the Hall of Fame.
Elizabeth.
Is Miss Elizabeth in the Hall? I don't think she is.
I don't think so.
Miss Elizabeth for sure. I know it's because there's issues with Owen's widow. I don't think that Owen's gonna get that WWE induction, but I mean I would love it as a fan to see Owen Hart in the WWE Hall of Fame. But there's so many guys, so many. Eventually a Bray Wyatt induction is gonna have to happen for his contributions. Although cut short. Rest in peace to him. I think that he goes in there. There's still a lot of names that haven't gone in. And what happened? Batista was supposed to go in a couple years ago, and what happened?
I think it was a conflict with the schedule. He was doing a movie or something like that.
Yeah, Batista obviously still got to go in at some point. So there's a lot of people who still need to go in the hall. But Nasties, definitely. Demolition, definitely. But we're glad for everyone who's going in this year. This comes from John JID 999.
Super chat. chat.
I heard Dusty took from some of Thunderbolt Patterson's style, especially his promos. If you move, that's a line from a famous Thunderbolt Patterson promo. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I loved it when Thunderbolt used to say, "Call somebody." You can call collect, but call somebody. And I'm like, who you gonna call? And why am I calling them?
Why am I doing that exactly?
But I used to love, that was Thunderbolt go-to right there on his promos. You better call somebody.
That's good. That's good stuff, though. You know, a lot of those guys, I mean, you know what I've been saying a lot? You know, because sometimes, like, the pro wrestling promo will filter into your daily life and you'll use lines and stuff. I mean, I've been saying, it bees that way, have mercy.
I've been watching a lot of Iceman King Parsons in interviews on
He's great.
YouTube. Title match, give title match a shout out. And he was talking about the match that, I didn't know this, but Iceman King Parsons said he is truly the first Black world heavyweight champion. He won the title from Kerry Von Erich, the world championship from Kerry Von Erich, the same championship that Kerry Von Erich took from Ric Flair. And yeah, so for me, if that's the case, I definitely want to give Iceman King Parsons all the props in the world, man, because I was a big fan of Iceman King Parsons. I definitely took a lot from Iceman King Parsons, just from a style, showmanship perspective. And for him to have paved the way as well. Iceman was a guy that paved the way. Just listen to some of the stories that he had told, and some of the stuff that he had to go through in this business. I definitely give Iceman King Parsons big props to Iceman.
It looks like Iceman King Parsons was the NWA American heavyweight champion, not the world heavyweight champion. But
well, he said it's the world heavyweight championship, and you know that's good enough for me.
Well, that's good enough for you. Hey, let's go for it. All right, NWA champion though, definitely NWA. I was looking up his CageMatch.net stats, trying to find. Yeah, and it could have been one of those things like what Cody Rhodes' story is, right? Where Dusty wins the title, but they took it back, and it's not really recognized. A couple times that's happened over time, so who knows? He's probably right. This one comes from Repause Order.
Super chat.
We'll get to this before the break. Booker to Angle. These people in the arena ain't none of them stupid, man. Crowd cheers. See, these people in the arena, they're beyond stupid. Heel Booker T is the GOAT.
Hey man, I do my part. You know what I mean? I do my part. You know what I mean? That's me. People can say what they want to say, but you know, I'm gonna tell it like it is, and I'm gonna do it like I do, because there it is. I am the GOAT. I'm one of them. One of them
for sure. Absolutely, man. And sometimes you got to talk your talk on the promo.
I mean, we just got confirmed, man. I don't know. Like I said, I told you about this big fight going down at the end of the month. Mm-hmm. We just got confirmed. 2 seats on the floor.
Oh, well, we got to figure that one out. Yeah, we'll be talking.
Just letting you know. All right. Just letting you know. All right.
That out.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we were talking about something. Oh, your promos. You know what I mean? Your promos definitely were things of legend in that King Booker run, man. The King Booker run, and even before that. Kind of like, when did you feel, we have 30 seconds, but when did you feel like you hit your stride when it came to the promo?
You know, it's something that even, you know, looking back, looking at my little privates video there that you always putting up, it started back then for me, you know, watching Hogan do promos back in the day, and then go off the screen. You know, I was like, man, I got to be, you know, definitely one of those type of guys. So I started thinking about the promo early in my career, finally picking it up, you know, I guess in my mid-30s, where I felt like I could go out there and do it without, you know, any hiccups or anything like that. But we got to take a break. We got to take one more break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in 1 minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Every time I see that,
it makes me laugh.
I just start laughing. Because do look kind of alike. That's a Joe Biden moment. You know what I mean? When you try to make sure you get this right. You know what I mean? Oh man, no man.
Gotta
Let's
love
keep
it, man.
rolling.
Okay, our next one here comes from Hugh J. Hugh J. Says, pick one: whiskey or rum, vodka or tequila, beer or wine, a blunt or a spliff. Late 90s WWF or WCW, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, Road Warrior or the Steiners. Well, that's more than one to pick.
Oh my God, man! Steiners, vodka, spliff.
Well, for me, I don't drink or smoke, so you got to throw all those out. Late 90s WWF for me, I got to go Shawn over Bret, and I got to go Road Warriors over Steiners.
I go Bret.
I got to go Shawn.
I was a big Bret fan. I didn't take anything from Shawn as far as me going out there and trying to mimic him or anything like that, but I definitely took my suplex style from Bret Hart.
But I like that he sent this in because these are the kind of things I want to do. I want to play this game with you one day, fame or shame. You know what I mean? You got to pick one, the other one goes away. And that would be a fun game to play. But yeah, thanks for that, Hugh. This comes from King David. Says, hi, Booker and Brad. Love the show. Watching from the UK. Been watching. Appreciate you. How do they say it in the UK? What do they say over there? Do they say like, right on, mate?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Been watching WWE Rivals. Just wanted to know, who's your biggest rival, Booker T?
I really wish they could have done the rivalries of Chris Benoit and Booker T.
Mm.
I think that would have been one of the most awesome, compelling stories told on television from a rivalry perspective. The Best of 7 series was something that put me on the map, something that let me know that I could do it. And I had a guy that pushed me to a level where, man, I didn't even know that I could go. So that would be the rivalry for me. And other than that, I don't have any rivalries other than that one rivalry.
Sometimes you would say Jericho. I've heard you say that before, that Jericho was one of your good rivals.
Jericho and I, we had, it was a good feud between Jericho and I, but the feud was not on television as much. It was just a feud between him and I. It was a contest between him and I to go out there and produce and perform, better than we did the last time. And a lot of times those matches was with each other. So we was out there trying to shine each other up the best we possibly could as well. So man, Jericho was definitely a guy that I had a lot of interactions with, but I really wouldn't call those like television feuds or anything like that.
Then when you got to WWE, but see here in your WWE/F run, you had a lot of feuds. I mean, you had the feud with The Rock, you had the feud with Austin, you had the feud with Batista, you had the feud with Eddie, you had a feud with JBL, you had a feud with The Undertaker.
I don't really call those feuds.
You don't? Okay.
They wasn't sustained feuds or anything like that. It wasn't anything.
Triple H.
Exactly. We didn't put a whole lot of time into those feuds. Triple H feud might be the one that they could actually talk about because it was going into WrestleMania.
And you went, and then you later faced him at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but it really wasn't I don't call those feuds.
What about Boogie?
I wouldn't even call that a feud.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's your answer, King David. Virgil Dawkins says, have you seen the latest episode of Dark Side of the Ring on Buff Bagwell? They even talked about your match with them on Raw. Yeah, we just talked about that earlier in the show, Virgil.
Definitely. Yeah.
How was the one on John Tenta? Did you watch that one?
I didn't get a chance to catch all of it. I caught the tail end of it. And the tail end of it, of course, was just talking about the passing of John Tenta. A lot of people don't, I've never told the story, but John Tenta and I, we was really, really good friends. John Tenta actually lived right down the street from me right before he passed away.
Wow.
Literally not even 5 minutes away. And I would visit him, certain times, whatnot, right before he left this earth. I'm going to tell you right now, not going to find a better guy, man. That dude was such a good dude, man. Had such a big heart. And I definitely miss him, but I didn't get a chance to see it. I definitely go back and watch it. It's just kind of sad sometimes watching those kind of programs.
Yeah. I can't watch the Dark Side of the Rings. I just can't watch any of them. It just gets me down, on everything.
Well, I know they got Sherry Martell in this crop that they're going to be doing, and they called me for a couple of comments for that one as well, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it because I know what the outcome is going to be as far as it wasn't pretty at the end. And most of these Dark Side of the Ring stories, they aren't pretty. And for me, I just don't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. This one comes from Jamal Bryant. How about Mello versus Trick with Booker, the special ref, and boom, Booker turns on Trick, and we get Booker versus Trick in Reality of Wrestling.
Got your damn mind. That ain't happening. I mean, just to ref the match, man, the getting up and getting down, all of that stuff. I lose my damn mind. No, no guest ref for me. I'm going to be sitting there at the table. I'm going to be watching it. I'm not turning on anybody. I want to see both of these guys come up. People talk about, Mello right now and his attitude. I blame myself for a lot of the Mello attitude right now because all of those sessions Mello and I have had. I've always told Mello, man, you can't be friends, man. You can't be thinking about, anything but number one. You got to go out there and be thinking about checks and championships at the end of the day. We can be friends when our careers are over with. The same thing, I tell Trick the same thing, man. You got to go out there, you got to beat these guys up. It's not one of those business where you can't think that to be selfish most of the time. You got to, if you want to make it to the top. That's just part of the business. So man, I want to see both of these guys excel all the way to the top. And, that's just the way it is.
Do you think that there's probably more pressure for them on this match than any other match they've ever had in their career?
Oh, yeah. Because it's going to be two guys out there that I think about, just say, for instance, the Dragunov versus Trick Williams. And then I think about Dragunov versus Carmelo. You got a guy in Dragunov that's going to drag it out of you. He's gonna make you work. And if you don't work, he's going to draw you in, and he's going to draw you in and drown you. That's just the way it is. I'm wondering which one of these two, Mello or Trick, is going to be that guy to bring it out of the other guy. That's what I'm going to be looking for in that matchup more than anything. I'm not going to be looking for the spots. I'm going to be looking to see what these guys are really doing from a Shakespearean perspective to make that crowd move and feel a certain way by the time we get to the end for that 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm going to be looking for more than anything. The decibel level in the building. That's what I'm going to be looking for more than anything.
Well, you know what? Stand and Deliver, I'm sure, is right around the corner. WrestleMania Saturday, earlier in the day in Philadelphia. I think I gotta check out Stand and Deliver this year because just for that match. Gotta make my way there live.
It's gonna be good, as well as it might be a couple of surprises you don't want to miss out on. I ain't gonna say nothing, but it might be a couple of surprises, big surprises on that night, or actually on that day.
Okay. Well, looking forward to it. Our last super chat of the day is coming here from Hugh again. Why would Seth agree to help Cody despite losing to him 3 times? I think Seth turns on Cody and Rock eventually joins Cody versus Reigns. Wild. Okay, hey, that's a theory. That's a theory that's out there. It could happen.
Book it. You booked it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, disagree with you or anything like that. It could happen. I'm gonna wait in high anticipation to see how this thing play out.
We're gonna find out. It's gonna be wild to see. Just 2 years ago, WrestleMania in Dallas, Stone Cold Steve Austin is wrestling in the main event, night 1 against Kevin Owens. Never thought I'd see that in a million years. 2 years later, The Rock is wrestling in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. And WrestleMania 40. Never thought I'd see that. It's a wild time to be a pro wrestling fan, especially a WWE fan. And then finally, he said, "Thank you for mentioning my childhood fave, Chris Benoit." That's from Hugh, talking about your Best of 7 series. Yeah, I also implore anybody who's never checked out that Best of 7 to definitely go. That's the one you want to fire up Peacock for. That's one you want to check out if you want to learn And what's cool about it too, I know we got to wrap here in a second, is it just shows the progression of your career. Because, if your career ended in WCW, I think people would talk about you as one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. Honestly, if it ended in WCW, that's what people would talk about, you as a tag team and one of the great technical wrestlers of all time. But then when you come to WWE and everyone sees this just side of entertainment that we didn't, we saw some glimpses of, but just to a new level, in WWE, it just kind of made the legend even bigger.
I agree 100%. In WCW, I was a wrestler. I was a guy that went out and performed inside the squared circle. I didn't need the mic a whole lot or anything. When I won the world championship, they gave me the mic. When I was tag team, of course, my brother, we got the mic. But definitely, I was the wrestler. And when I came to WWE, I became the entertainer. So two totally separate careers. And both of them was just as good as the other. So I appreciate the fans for giving me the opportunity to perform in front of them for this many years, over 30 years. 30 years it's been. And I'm still looking good. Still feeling good. We got to get out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame and they get your champagne, wishes, caviar, dreams. Brad, as always, for the heavy lifting, man. We appreciate you. And again, guys, until next time, peace. We love you. We out.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson.
The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.